Anyway, we're live.
Didn't you used to do GT races?
I did. Also, we're live. We just need to be,
Would you say?
we're live. Yeah.
You might get a few fans in the comment section from Samu if he's here tonight. Samu, is he? Yeah, Samu Papito. You might get a few fans from him. A lot of people supported him last race.
Oh, you didn't realise we're live.
They kept talking in the comment section, putting flags up.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, and good night wherever you're watching in the world, and welcome back to Speed Force Racing. Now, we're here in Singapore yet again, but this time for the fastest of the fastest. The pinnacle of SFR is Division 1. I almost said GP1. I'm your host, ShallAnswer29, and apologies for the earlier convo before the introduction. But yes, joining me is Indigo. How are you, mate?
I'm not too bad, thanks, mate. Singapore Grand Prix can be a tricky one, 5 kilometers long, but they've shortened it because they got rid of the 4 corners in the final sector, so it should be a little bit easier, but still a difficult track anyway. So we'll see how the drivers get on tonight. 16 drivers here, 80-minute qualifying session then, so good in for pole position because we had a sprint race last time out, but this time back to our usual format.
Oh yeah, that's very true. So, Singapore, as you mentioned, it is a very, very tough track to get around. But first out on track, we have Mansell beginning his outlap. But yeah, do you fancy?
I think.
Do you fancy doing the standings?
Oh, standards, yeah, that's a good one. I don't really start the standards, but we'll do it. So, Laser currently leading the way, 30 points ahead of MDJ. And last time Laser extended his championship gap as well over MDJ because last few races, MDJ have actually been closing down Laser, but Laser's trying to hold the threat against MDJ. While there's still quite a lot of races to go, so all to play for the championship. About 8 races left to go, and Harry Kane in P3, 230 points ahead of Martin, who scored a good result last time out, despite being at the back of the field. And Burmeister is P5 in the championship. He's currently here tonight in the Haas. JDM P6, Zara 7th, but he's not here tonight, unfortunately, because if he was, I dare say he'd be challenging up the order. Mackie in P8 with Glock in 9th, Oliver in 10th, Rogue Smithy 11th, Kuipers 12th, Sonic Hawk 13th, Zenon 14th, Samid in 15th, Ramavaj in 16th, Mansell 57.5, or 57.5 points, I've never seen that before, in the championship, Wesker 18th, Casti 19th, and Samu Papito is currently 20th in the championship, after making only 3 appearances, and 1 was a DNS, so only 2 appearances, well 3 actually, because it's DNF, not DNS.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Right. Mansell's the big... Oh, he gets a little bit twitchy coming out of turn 2.
Yeah, pulled too much power down, unfortunately, coming out of turn number 2. I wasn't on board with it, but now I have to see how he progresses down into turn number 7. And the heavy braking, so braking around the 100-meter board as he goes down the gears, hits the apex really nicely there, tries to get back on the throttle now, coming to another slow speed corner. We've seen people crash into this one before, Logan Sargent, Alex Albon, and Romain Grosjean, I believe, one of those drivers back in 2019 after making contact with George Russell. So a famous corner there for Williams as I make our way down into this old Singapore sling as it was, but now been removed as now we're coming through the Anderson Bridge, another tricky part of the track as well. Got to get as close to the walls as you possibly can, but obviously not touching them as we make our way out of the Anderson Bridge there. Very important to get decent traction cut out of here as it has a DRS zone. And we head down into turn number 13 then, braking at the under the 50-meter boards, taking the curve. Don't run out too wide here, because even though there is no white lines through there, you still can validate. Now, coming to this new part of the track here, which is proven to be decent racing, as showed back in the 2023 Grand Prix with Lando Norris and George Russell. Former turn 21 and turn 22 corners, now 17 and 18. As we make our way into the final 2 corners, kind of a lot of speed. It's going to be a 30.5 for him as he goes to the top of the time sheets. Guy behind him, I think, is a Haas.
It could be. Hold on. It's going to be Burmeister who's just begun his lap, so I think the next one is MDJ. No, it's not. It must be a Williams. Someone. Or an Alpine, you never know.
A CT driver. Glock has retired. Back it goes to the top of the time sheets.
Yep. Yeah, Glock's retired in the pits. Could it be a quali ban? Or...
I looked at the stewards finding. I didn't see Glock's name anywhere, so I might have to look at it again to see what happened to Glock. But I'm on board with CT Noldus as he comes for Williams, so I think it's his first appearance here for Williams. Teammates, of course, with Mackett, and I think Williams scored a decent result back in the Monza Grand Prix. I think it was P7 as Mackett went to score. Noldus went a bit wide on the corner.
Second.
Samu Papito goes into P2 with a 30.1. Here comes Noldus. Yeah, not really the lap time he needs or wants, really, in P5.
Yeah, it's only a start. Smithy up into second. 4 tenths off pole. Under 4 tenths.
Glock says in the chat it's a qualifying ban, so that explains why he's retired from the session. So P16 for best for him tonight. MDJ, however, splits both Alfa Romeos with a 30.2 to slot into that as Mansell's 3 tenths per.
Martin's up at the third. 1 minute, who sets a 1 minute 29.8.
Good for Martin there. In P3, trying to score a decent result like he did at the Monza Grand Prix 2 as Burmeister puts his Haas into P4 with a 29.9.
Good lap. Scar Adams has invalidated his lap, unfortunately. But what about Harry Kane? One of the fastest in this division. Comes out of the last corner nicely. Wraps it around. P6.
That's quite interesting, because it says 100% EOS for me. And if he's doing that with a 30.1, did he turn his ear? Did he even use his battery? Well, that's quite interesting, So I think there's a lot more pace. It is early. Maybe all these guys doing bankers, not their true potential. Some out there are struggling, not really hooking up in the apexes that they need to. So I dare say there's a banker there for Harry Kane.
Yeah, for sure. Players are in the pit still. Just gonna see if Scar Adams is able to complete this lap and make it up for the first attempt.
I think he's down to P15 in the Alpine.
Still not sold on the Alpine BWT livery.
You don't like it?
No.
So, do you prefer the pig livery?
No, I prefer the 2021 livery they had.
2021.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2019 Renault wasn't that bad. I like that.
Yeah, I do miss the Renault livery. Like, the black and yellow just went together so well.
The car you can identify these days, and Formula 1 runs Renault, but he heads back in the pit lane then, so whether...
2 validated laps as well.
Yeah, I don't think he has the tyre life. You don't want to go around here with like 3-lap old tyres.
No. And overdriving that car as well.
Yeah, not good for your tyre temps at all, because it's very easy to
100%.
alter tyres.
Now, next driver going to be going on board is Zenon. In the Red Bull.
Whereabouts is he? There he is, in the Red Bull. They're just... Do you know why the brake and accelerate at the same time, Shadow?
That's a good question.
I'll explain why. So, instead of weaving, you generate more temperature on the game.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I don't think in real life, but in the game, maybe in real life, because they do test the brakes, but you can't really brake and accelerate in an F1 car, or any car really, because it damages the cars. But they do it in the F1 game because, one, burns off the excess fuel, and two, warms with brakes and tyres instead of weaving, so it doesn't take too much tyre life whilst weaving, so that's another method. I don't know if it's an actual thing in real life, but like they say in karting, you can't really press the brakes and accelerator at the same time, so I don't think they do it in an F1 car, but they just, with the way warming up the brakes in an F1 car, it's just like just gently brake and not press it too much, because obviously it's still cold, so when they come out the pit lane, they just need to test the brakes and build it up to speed. 27.4 in the first sectors for Zenon, so let's see how that compares to Mackett. He did a 26.8 in the first sector, so he's in the 26s while Zenov's in the 27s, so yeah, it's not the perfect first sector for the Red Bull driver as he makes his way now into the old Singapore sling. I do miss the old Singapore sling.
Completely agree. It's... Oh, here comes Xenon. Height around the wall.
So it's a 5.0 in the middle sector for him. That's turn 13. He got a bit deep on the exit there, so hopefully it hasn't cost him too much time. There is a Mercedes right behind him. I'm not quite sure who that is. MDJ is on his
must be
outlet.
MDJ.
The only Mercedes in this session,
of course, ironically. Here comes Zenon.
Making his way now towards the final 2 corners.
I thought he was going to spin there, but he didn't.
A 30.4 for him in the Red Bull, so he goes into P8.
So our championship leader in laser.
Let's see where he is in P12. So there he is, coming through turn number 17 and 18, or 16 to 17, sorry. And now this is turn 19, 18 and 19. I get confused now because of the new layout. 29.1,
wow.
So he goes 12.
Superb lap for the championship leader. I think that's nearly 3,000ths as well. 300ths of a second as well.
Very close times, especially a track like this. MDJ in the first sector is 2/10 up, so almost 3/10. So it's very important to keep an eye on him to see what he can do to try and hunt down Laser.
Oh, Smithy's out. Yeah, he must have binned it.
That's the castle, not the castle section, that's Baku. That's the Anderson Bridge, I think he's presumed. He's binned it out, so let's see where he is. He's actually disappeared off the map now, so we can't really have an indication to where he crashed.
You would have got board of JDM.
You won't be the first or last driver to do it.
No, for sure. Here we go. JDM E6.
A decent lap from JDM in the AlphaTauri for the German driver. MDJ, however, was 6/10 up in this middle sector. Not enough unless you can find more time in this last sector to try and dethrone Laser of pole position then. Very nice there, using all the track, even close to the walls too. Heading towards the final 2 corners now. It's going to be a 29.3, so
good lap.
Found 2 more tenths in that last sector, and he's getting closer and closer towards the top of the pecking order too, for good measure. Adam is out there once again. You can see a tyre stranded on the track there as Adam makes his way through.
That's probably Smithy. At most.
29.3 for Adam. 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 It's such a difficult corner indeed. If you take too much curve on the entry, you'll end up spinning out and hit the wall. Exactly what Rogue Smith did then, and Felipe Massa did a famous overtake of Bruno Senna. Almost said Bruno Mars then. It's actually it's Bruno Senna, sorry. Very close to saying it, I wanted to be embarrassing. But Adam's quite low on fuel again, and I don't think, let's see if he finishes his lap or not, as he makes his way now towards the final 2 corners. Let's see what lap time he can set in the Alpine. It's going to be a 30.5 P12 for him.
Stuff. 4 temps up is Samu. Harry Kane goes fastest with a 1 minute 28.8. First driver to break into the 1:28 as well, funnily enough. Impressive.
What a guy, Harry Kane, and once again up the top of the time machines as he had his first DNF of the whole season in Monza as he crashed out of Ascari, so he'll be looking to make big amends in this race and try and go up there like he has been.
P6. Good luck from
him.
him.
Romeo.
We're going to go on board with Mackett now, see what he does. I do like that Williams.
It's a very nice livery, but he's validated on the entry towards turn 5, so that's his lap time done and dusted by taking too much of the track, and as a result, it validated that lap time too. So it's a shame there for Mackett. He was 1/10 up in the first sector, but will he slow down? I think he has to slow down to regenerate that battery, cool the tyres, or will he go in the pit lane at the end of this lap to put on a last set of softs, because we've still got 4 minutes left at the qualifying, so he won't go for a second lap like this unless he slows down, because you don't want to go around doing a push lap and another push lap because you don't have enough EOS, or the tyre temperature won't help you either towards the latter stages of the lap. So he continues circulating around. Maybe he's getting some information ready for his next lap, or let's see then. But you don't want to do about 3 or 4 laps around here, not like Austria, because the tyre life is not as great as the other tracks, so it's not ideal. But it's 5/10 up in this middle sector, so this could have been pole, but unfortunately this lap is validated, so this is good indication for Mackey, a good reference point. Can lead that off towards his last few laps.
That's a good point. Now, go on board with Noldus, who's on an out lap. Up real quick. Actually, no, go back on board with Mackett. Oh, he's coming into bits. Yeah, never mind. Back with Mackett we go. No, Noldus we go, sorry.
Is Williams' teammate there, his first appearance, so yeah, I think that's as expected Mackett to do, because obviously he can't go for another lap time flying around one lap and doing another lap. You can't
it would be too risky.
Yeah, you won't have the EOS or you won't have the tyre either. The right tyre temperatures will be about 105 degrees, so you don't want to be doing that on a second lap because it's very easy to lose the rear. But his teammate now making his way through the first 3 corners, looks alright, hooked up, carrying the speed he needs to, gets a decent exit 2 for good measure. And now he comes towards turn number 5, so let's see how he takes it. You've got to flick it in, use all the track, even scraping the wall if you have to. DRS enabled for the Williams driver as he makes his way down now towards the end of the first sector, which is turn 7. 3/10 up in this first sector is Noldus, uses all the curb of the entry now, coming through turn 8, a slow speed corner, so very important to pick up the throttle, which he does do very nice there as we make our way now into turn 8. Just flick it in at this left-hander, use all the track available on the right-hand side, and now coming into turn number 9 and turn number 10, very easy to lose it here as well, especially using a bit too much curves there, and he gets away with it very nicely too, trying to avoid the curves but lose the back end of the car in the process. So now coming through turn number 12, very important to pick up the throttle here, because this could be another overtaking zone with the DRS as we head all the way down into turn 13, so 9/10 up, so almost a second quicker than his previous lap. But the problem is it's going to be in the 30s where only 2 of them are so far, so he needs to find a bit more time to join the 29 club. But Harry Kane has got 28 to all himself.
This is a good lap for Noldus. Here he comes, coming out the last corner. What time is he going to get? Ooh, holding onto the curbs, he goes into P12. So our next guy on our lap is Laser. Well, he's on an out lap, but won't be long until he begins his next lap. Mind you, it'll be the last one in the session, so it's practically an all or nothing lap at this rate.
Yeah, possibly. We've not got a lot of time left in the session either, so he needs to get this lap time. As he said in the chat, he can't get a strong lap together, so hopefully his last potential flying last lap could get a flying lap together as we head down into 1 then. Brakes very nicely, using the curves he needs to, rotates to the car 2. To turn 3, taking the tighter line through there. Decent on the throttle as well, short shifted to reduce the wheel spin, and now flick it into turn number 5 here. Very nice indeed, using all the exit as he possibly can get away with DRS enabled then, as we saw Kevin Magnussen and Felipe Massa back in 2017 have their battle through here. I believe Danny Kvyat crashed through here in 2017 too in the wet, as Hamilton did back in 2023 or 2. No, I can't remember now, even though it was a long
I remember
time
Hamilton
ago.
having... No, I remember Raikkonen and Kvyat crashing out in turn 1 in 2019.
Yeah, Fiat went for an audacious move down the inside, and as a result, took out Raikkonen's front suspension, or left, sorry. Also, it's not the first time Raikkonen's crashed through turn 1 either. Remember 2017 Singapore?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That was a
unfortunately
big
for
one.
the Finishman. Yeah, unfortunately for the Finishman, got took out into turn number 1 by Fiat, and I think it's a racing incident in 2017 in my opinion.
Yeah.
I didn't know it's a 3-wide moment which never really works, really.
No. Although, if Laser can keep this lap up, he could go into 1 minute 128.7 mark.
Let's have a look then if he can get a decent lap time on the board. He said he can't hook it up, but can he hook it up in this final part of qualifying?
He can! That was a superb lap. Wow. Now
And the rest will be responding.
Yeah. As we've got Martin coming up. No, just as you say that he was struggling to get a lap together, I was so tempted to make a joke that it would be just before he ends up clinching pole position.
He said it in the comment section, I didn't say it. So let's see who's closest towards the line. There's an Alfa Romeo making his way towards the line, so it's going to be Mansell or Samu. Samu is the closest one towards the line, so let's see what he can do. He's a few hundreds up in this middle set. Oh, he's
big hit! That would have been a DNF. Samu goes... Oh, wow! 300s.
And Mackie takes pole
Oh
now
my
with 28.4.
goodness. What about Harry Kane, though?
Yeah, I'm on
4
board
temps
with this.
up.
I'm on board with not the Danish one, the Norwegian driver, Harry Kane, 4 tenths up in his middle sector, could be on course for pole position if he can keep it nice and tidy coming through these slow speed corners, which he does do so. A lot of tire temperature has been generated up throughout the lap, and it's very easy to lose it in the slow speed corners.
Oh,
Here comes
here we
Harry
go.
Kane.
Wow! Oh, what a lap.
What a legend, Harry Kane,
Wow.
just hooking it up like that.
That is going to be quality.
Qualifying commences then as Harry Kane is on pole position, looking to rectify his mistakes back at the Italian Grand Prix after he chose the wrong strategy midway through the race after going on the softs and had to pit again and got caught up in some traffic too. So there it is, Harry Kane on pole, a 10th ahead of Makia Samid in P3. Good result for the Scotsman in P3 there. Laser in P4, MDJ in P5, JDM 6 ahead of Burmeister. Samu is 8th in the Alfa Romeo alongside with Mansell. Rogue Smithy, last time out on the podium back at the Monza Grand Prix in 10th. Martin finished 5th at the Monza Grand Prix, he's currently 11th. Both Norwegian drivers P12 and 13th. Adams in P14 ahead of Nadim, and Glock with a qualifying ban will be starting in last place. And good evening to you all, good night, whoever you are, to the guys in the chat, Sammy, Yannick, Glock and Laser, good night to you, good evening to you all, wherever you are.
Yeah, good evening.
You're doing all well?
So, prediction for this one. Your top 3.
You know what? I can't really, because this track is predictable, and also this league is predictable as well, with the amount of safety car, unpredictable I will say, with the amount of safety cars and different strategies going on. It's all about pitting at the right time and the right strategy, if you can or not, because sometimes you're really in a difficult position when you're on the wrong tyre when a safety car comes out and the rest behind pits. It's a sinking feeling. So it all depends when the safety car comes out, who's on the right strategy at the right time. This could be a definite safety car for sure around here in Singapore. We've seen a few crashes already in the qualified session, so I won't be surprised to see any crashes here in Singapore. But let's see. If it's a plain sailing race with no safety cars or anything like that, then the battle between Harry Kane, Laser, Samid, Makit, MDJ, will be all interesting. And also Glock for the back of the field, what can he do? Because he's got some mighty pace, but been unlucky in the last few races. He's always been up the top, but seems to be having a few difficult moments. Belgium, Monza, and I think the Netherlands Grand Prix where he picked up that 3-second time penalty and lost the win. So here in Singapore, let's see what he can do for the back of the grid and make his way through the field. No pressure for Glock, just have a nice Sunday drive.
Nothing to lose.
Essentially.
So, just waiting for countdown to begin.
I will take you through the start of the Grand Prix when the race starts, and let's see what happens after that. It's going to be a chaotic first lap, and Laser says, at least I don't have a qualifying ban for being dirty, Glock. Yeah, he's responded to Glock's comment there in the chat. Glock called him a bottle chop, and Laser's firing back at him.
Right. Come on.
Never know it's taking so long, but hopefully we can get racing soon. I don't know if the formation lap is on, and Martin says we go at 7:57. So I think you have to wait. You have to wait for a little bit of a time before we can get racing.
Yeah.
Actually,
here we go.
Here we go. The 3, 4,
5 red lights. No lights, we are underway for the Singapore Grand Prix. It's a great start from Mackett. No, it's a great start from Samad, sorry. Going into turn one, contact is made. Harry Kane gets away nicely. Now MDJ right, slotting in behind in fourth place. We've got Laser involved. Someone's gone off. Oh dear, Zealand's off. Or has made contact and has spun.
But I saw a Red Bull, so I thought, is that Glock? But it's not, it's Zeno. No. But we're coming through turn 7 now as all the drivers sort themselves out. Into 7 we go. A few more medium compound tyres, including both Alfa Romeos. There's a lunge on here with Rogue Smithy up the inside, and Mansell has him covered and moves himself up into P9. But Mansell will be put on the charge due to being on those medium compound tyres. So has to progress forwards rather than backwards. It needs to make these overtakes happen. But there's a bit of contact there. Samu, I saw in the foreground.
He's literally lost it.
I don't know if somebody hit him or just locked the brakes there, but he's side by side now with the last two
contact. Contact. It's kicking off already.
There was an AlphaTauri off the track there. That was Rogue Smithy, I think it was. He's side by side with Glock as they go side by side into 13. This is going to get so tight indeed.
I thought that was going to end in tears.
Rogue Smithy is not giving it in.
It's ended in tears already because Samu got into the wall.
Yeah, Samu went for an optimistic move at turn number 9, I believe it was. I don't think the move was on. You don't want to go side by side to that particular part of the track, but all 16 still remain, and looks like they kept it all intact so far in this race. I think Zeno at the back is not going in the pit, so he's managed to make it out there damage-free, and hopefully can continue racing. DJ is all over the back then of Samu, so we make our way down into turn number 7, but he's nowhere to be seen on that occasion. Can't make a move. As Harry Kane is 1 second outside of DRS already, but Mackett there pulling 2 tenths on him, and hopefully 2 tenths.
This is interesting. The only 2 drivers that aren't on hards are Mansell and Samu. Speaking of, is in a lot of trouble.
That's a shame there.
Yeah, must have been contact with the team, you never know. Or someone.
Oh, Mackett's gone deep, and so is the Alpine as well. They almost hit the wall. As
MDJ takes advantage of that.
They both outboat themselves, plainly and simply, synchronized fashion, and Mackett might be under pressure from MDJ. This is helping Harry Kane because he can break away from the DRS.
Indeed, it's going to create quite a train behind as well, if you think about it.
Yeah, these guys have to get into a rhythm immediately. They can't afford any mistakes like that. Dropping outside the DRS trade. And
Oh, thought Mantle hit the wall then.
Hurricane is 2 seconds ahead.
Yeah, he is. This is good for Harry.
DRS has been enabled then, so Mackett won't be liking this as he's the lead of the DRS trade. He wants to be behind Harry Kane for the DRS, but instead he's the DRS provider, and now MDJ will be all over the back of him.
Ooh, Samad getting a little bit loose. This is allowing Laser to close in with DRS involved. It's down the outside. Samad has it covered. Now we have Mackett on the back of MDJ.
MDJ overtook Mackett into 7.
Yeah, I know. Aside from the odd incident, it hasn't been too... It's been relatively clean, wouldn't you say?
Apart from a... Mackett there, once again, it's the same corner at turn 12.
I thought he was going to hit the wall. That was a terrible onboard angle as well.
I think he might have to adjust his brake bias somewhat because it looks like he started losing the rear end on braking. Yeah. So maybe a brake bias issue or something like that.
I think that might explain how MDJ got by so quick. Think about it.
MDJ was able to capitalise on those 2 mistakes. Simon did the same thing, but rectified it, and now he's all over the back of Mackett. So actually, MDJ is starting to pull away as Harry Kane sets the fastest lap. Now MDJ
sets the fastest lap. Wow, these lap times are coming in quick. Oh, we have Mansell on the inside, going down the inside of Smithy, side by side. Oh, contact! Disaster for Mansell. He's lost 3 places as a result.
That's not. I don't think that's Clark's fault, but always hit the back of Martin
Mansell
there.
Hit the back of Mansell. I mean, Mansell hit the back of Martin. Sorry. Now, Locke is going down the inside. Yeah, good spot. I think he's got the place covered. He has. Now, Laser is looking to get in on the act.
I like how Glock's sportsmanship is always showing in races because I don't think that was his fault this time. I think he had the race in line, but it was an awkward place to go side by side into one. One of them was
Smithy that made contact from Mansell then. Ooh, Sama getting out of shape, and he's in the wall. Oh no, that's disastrous.
Did he make contact with somebody, or did he lose by himself?
He lost it. I think he had a very obnoxious line going into the hairpin, and just softly ended up in the wall.
I thought Mackett was close enough to be the wall there, but Clock side by side with Martin, he's now ahead of him.
Gets moved on. Now, question is, do you think Laser is going to get past Mackett this lap as JDM gets a little bit loose? And funnily enough, the irony, he has Smithy right behind him.
I think Laser, used now the EOS deployment, will make a move on Mackett into turn 7. Mackett goes defensive on the inside, but Laser has the speed around the outside. Oh, make contact! And this is crucial for the championship!
Oh, how did I miss that? That was terrible camera, terrible film coverage from the main camera crew there. Yeah, massive shame. Big for the championship, as you mentioned.
I call that, and Zenom's gone for a spin once again. So this track race proven to be difficult, and now both Alpines are close together, but it's a shame there for Laser. It has big implications for the championship as well, as MDJ is only 30 points behind with like 8 races to go, so Laser will be absolutely fuming with that, like he was back at the Canadian Grand Prix. But he's going to get his head down now. Still chances to go in this race, and there could be safety cars later. We're still
for sure
5 laps into this race. Long circuit indeed, so we've still got quite a long way to go.
It is. Scary how races at tracks like these tend to just feel like a track, like because they just Because it just feels like, I don't know, it's just... Because this is one of, bearing in mind, this is one of the longest tracks in the calendar. It's just, how do you describe it? It's going to be tough. Yeah. It's going to be tough. Obviously, tyre wear is important, and it's also easy to bin it, to make mistakes around here if you're not careful.
Both Alpha Tyrus recently been in a charge, JDM versus Rose Smithy, but are these two going to work together, or is it going to be all about pride on the track? Because if I was those two, I'd stay in formation for the time being, for the pit stops, and try and keep third and fourth, try and keep track position over the rest, as JDM, he has the DRS to protect himself against Burmeister, so wait for the DRS, well, wait in this first part, just wait it out, unless when the undercut comes, obviously, because who wants to go first? Who wants to go to the pit lane first? Are these two in a party to each other, or are they just going to race it out? We'll see. But the best way to go, follow each other's DRS in the first part, then when it comes to the mediums, that's when you start to race, because it's all about following each other in the first stint and just protecting your racing position and going at it in the second stint on the medium. So you're just going to wait it out for the time being. It's just a long game of chess here in this race.
Glock is on the back of that train as well. I wouldn't count him out just yet. And he's gone all the way from P16 to P6, so he's gained the most places out of every driver on this in the race by some distance.
Glock could be on course for a podium too.
Oh, for sure.
Like you said, it's the back of this DRS train, P16 to P6, and both Red Bulls there. One Red Bulls now is in last place after where Glock started. And Zenom's still in this race despite a few spins, so that's a respect for him, as you can see in this train going on, headed down towards turn number 7, or any moves being on. Burmeister won't be happy to see both AlphaTauris. They might be working together, but I think JDM there doing the right thing and just staying behind his teammate until the pit stops start happening. We'll see which one goes for the undercut first. But will they play it as a team gain and
you never know.
wait later on in the race? Actually, MDJ started to close the gap down. The gap was like 2.4 at one stage, now it's 1.2. So MDJ dispatching this train and managed to get his way towards Harry Kane. So the battle for the lead could be on. Harry 3 hasn't broke free yet. As MDJ had a slight tap on the wall there.
I don't think it was a tap on the wall, but it was just more of a tank slapper. Or like end of oversteer, you never know.
I did off-ball count, so I didn't know if he hit the wall or not. I couldn't quite see it.
No.
But yeah, I think he's lost a bit of time due to that. Now Harry Kane can start to pull away, but this is going to be very interesting because look at his DRS management, 75%. So Harry Kane being in first place, not able to use the not needed to use the ERS, while MDJ has to try and claw his way down. So MDJ, despite using a lot of ERS, has to make his way towards Harry Kane. It has to get that DRS. Try able to regenerate some of that lost battery he's been using to catch him.
Ooh, Glock getting a little bit twitchy for a second.
There's nothing you can do. I've commentated on a race in Singapore. When you're like 4th or 5th in the DRS trade, there is absolutely nothing you can do. You just got to sit there and hope for something to happen in front of you.
As Martin said, as Martin said last night, like you shouldn't have to. If you're at the back of that DRS train, you shouldn't have to worry about the first car ahead, the car directly ahead of you, but about the driver leading that train.
The driver leading the train, I wouldn't like it to be, especially towards the latter stage of this race. So actually, Rogue Smith is 1.3 ahead, so he's found some pace, has Rogue Smithy. He's actually dropping
1.5.
He's actually dropped him, so
he has.
I would keep him in my DRS to protect himself against Burmeister, because Burmeister could actually split both AlphaTauris in this race.
I agree. Now, he's already on the back of it. Oh, he gets a little bit out of shape.
Was that Burmeister? I couldn't quite see it.
Yeah, it was.
Dodgy camera angle again. MDJ 1 second now behind Harry Kane, so has to have had a bit more time to get in the DRS. As you can see, Burmeister is putting a charge on. In fact, Glock is right behind Burmeister, so Burmeister was attacking. Now he's got to defend from the Red Bull behind, trying to keep track position. And now MDJ is in DRS range, so what he could do now in this race is sit behind Harry Kane and just use the DRS off him to try and regenerate some of that lost battery, as he used a lot of it trying to close him down from a 2.4-second gap to the start of the race to now 7:10. So this is working out well for MDJ, and Laser, he knows it too. He knows that more MDJ gains going to bite it back later towards the championship and the races too. So can't afford mistakes on either end. In fact, this is yellow flag. I can talk about mistakes. I think Zedim's gone for a spin where Lawrence Stroll crashed this season.
Yeah, that was another big one as well.
Indeed, high-speed corner, especially like tried to get himself out of Q1 and unfortunately dropped to the exit and had a massive impact to the wall as well. So luckily he was okay. Quite a few big crashes around here in Singapore too. I remember the Singapore.
Oh, Burmeister going for a little drift.
Hard compound tyres might be overheated a bit, be stuck in the dirty air as well. And constantly sliding the rear end on rear-locking the brakes is not going to help whatsoever.
No.
So you've got to adjust your braking, because 54, 55 can be a bit too much of the rear. So I think the preferred brake bias is 56 with no ABS. So you can be really careful on your braking and which brake bias you put. 55 is usually my preference. 54 is a bit too much unless you go into a heavy braking zone where you don't have to turn and brake at the same time. But yeah, that's an awkward corner though, because into turn 12 you're coming at fast speed and having to change the direction of steering whilst braking at the same time. As the Red Bull Zedong has spun. I really hope. I don't think he'll do it intentionally, but I really hope he don't cause safety car, because this is set up to be a great race. I know it'll bunch up the field, but with the strategy going on, it looks like to be setting out to be a decent race with MDJ now putting Hurricane. Hurricane's at the moment turn 7, but I think JDM is going to be under pressure from Burmeister as he goes side by side now into
down
turn
the
7.
inside. Oh, this is going to be close. MJ running up. I mean, JDM having to run off the track slightly.
He still looks up the inside, not giving up whatsoever,
No.
but Burmeister is through, finally released from the AlphaTauri, and now can he set after Rogue Smithy. So Rogue Smithy, I think he had overall decent pace, didn't want to be giving the DRS towards his teammate, just wanted to pull away, and let's see if that'll benefit him or not. Does Burmeister have the pace to claw his way back through to Rogue Smithy? But we'll all see. But you can see Hurricane now under huge pressure from MDJ. MDJ always, despite where he started, always shows some great race pace as well.
Oh, he
good
does.
knowledge of the track, and just able to catch up to drivers. Yeah, he used a lot of ERS, but now he can save some behind Hurricane with that DRS. 3 DRS zones around here, so that'll be used to good effect.
Yeah. Now, now with MDJ has the gap that he's got, he can play practically somewhat to an extent play the long game now. Because he sacrificed quite a lot of that battery to get within the DRS range. Now that he's in it, like, you could argue it was pretty much worth it.
It is worth it indeed, because sometimes when you use a lot of ERS to try and get your rival, and I think Hurricane should have used a bit more ERS to make.
Here we go.
Look at
down
this,
the inside. Is he going to take the lead? Yes, he is. Up to the lead goes MDJ. Hurricane having to slot behind, but he will fight back, and he has the battery advantage as well.
Mansell overtakes Martin on those medium compound tyres, which I thought would be faded away, but still, he got on the curb there. The curb pushed him towards Martin, but luckily no further contact made, as luckily the no front wings lost, or Martin did get sent to a spin, so that was quite fortunate there. But Mansell tried to go down the inside, but couldn't quite do it on that occasion. Hurricane has preserved a lot of ERS in his disposal, so he could play the long game too, wait behind MDJ, wants to make his pit stop and try and push flat out. Let's see which one goes for the undercut first, but that'll be later discussions towards the mid-stint of the race. But yeah, like I said, MDJ, if he used a lot more ERS and couldn't get in it, it's very hard to save the battery by yourself. And
here we go.
Having no power down the straight, the lack of battery, that'll cost him dearly. So luckily, you managed to catch up to Hurricane and regenerate that battery before he completely run out of it. As Glock is putting the JDM under pressure there. So it looks like JDM is starting to slip away slightly.
Yeah, he is. And truthfully, I think without the DRS train, Glock would have been out of sight would have had him out of sight ages ago.
Yeah, because JDM does not have DRS anymore towards Burmeister. Burmeister is starting to claw his way towards Rogue Smithy. Slowly but surely, the gap was like 2.8, now it's 2.3. His Glock goes deep into turn 3, trying to set up a move on JDM ahead. So let's see if turn 7 is the way to go. And he needs to decent exit out of here.
Oh, he is. a look, look at Harry. Still on the back of MDJ, not using much of that battery at all.
He's quite confident at his pace. I think Harry Kane knew that MDJ would push a lot too, so he didn't really bother using his ERS. He just preserved it later on in this race, trying to attack him. And now MDJ is in front. Let's see if his ERS management is good as well, because it can be difficult to save ERS around any track, really. Glock is still right at the back of JDM, fighting for P5 in this race. So I thought Glock would have had him, but JDM, contact! A slight tap in the rear there.
Sabotage! Oh dear. You thought he was going to be you'd think he was going to be one of the contenders in this race. He lost it coming out of, coming into the hairpin, and now he's out. And surprisingly, no VSC or safety car.
Stranded at the side of the track there, and in real life that would have been a safety car, but in the game doesn't think so. So we get away with it. And lap 30 out of 31, we could continue racing. I don't think these two want a safety car, because the gap behind is quite massive as well. So 8.5 seconds is...
Oh, Mansel's in.
Mansell is going to pit with his teammate too.
He's going on hard.
On medium compound tyres.
There's no way he doesn't. Right.
And Glock is right at the back. I think JDM had a slight tap on the rear there of his AlphaTauri, so it doesn't affect him too much. But Glock is right behind now. We'll go towards the outside
here
line.
We go.
Into turn 7 we go. Lays the brakes as the turn, but which one gets ahead first?
Yeah, it was Glock. Through he goes.
Oh, there's a bit of contact
Threads the needle, yeah. Mind you, this battle is starting to play into Martin's hands now, if you think about it.
Can Glock break free of JDM and try and catch towards Burmeister? The gap is staying the same between Rogue Smithy and Burmeister, 2.1, 2.3, so stabilise the gap between them. But can Glock break free the DRS away from JDM and try and catch up towards Burmeister and try and secure a podium despite starting P16 in this race too? I think, Zeno picks up a 3-second time, but that's actually the second driver who's got one.
Oh yeah, he is. Scott Adams as well. Same story last night.
The EMS management is not really too bad for MDJ, despite being first in it.
No, but Harry is still closing, despite not using that much battery.
A game of cat and mouse between Harry Kane and MDJ, a high speed of chicken between the two. So I think they're just going to follow each other until the pit start happening. And we'll see a race towards the end between the two, and just try to pull and build that gap towards Rogue Smithy. So it's just a two fighting for the lead of the race now. Rogue Smithy is in a one of his own, but still it's not over and done yet because Burmeister is still catching him. So we've got to keep an eye on that gap between himself and Burmeister, make sure he doesn't make any mistakes and bring Burmeister closer towards his DRS. So that's his most important role, to get a second podium in a row as well, to mention that.
That's a good point. Now, we're going to go into the possibly one of the tightest sections of the track.
And that turn 8 as well, Martin had a bit of snap of oversteer as he hit the curb. But it didn't hit the curb. He did hit the curb massively and just had a big snap. So it didn't cost him too much, but still very important not to try to touch the curbs because it can cause you to have a really bad exit and lose traction as he still puts a JDM under pressure. So JDM was in 4th place, but unfortunately started to struggle just a bit there in the AlphaTauri, whether he struggled with tyre wear or overheated tyres. That could be a factor, but still. Running a good race in P6, and let's see if he can hold on. Martin's right behind him, and Laser too. Laser, after making contact with one of the drivers earlier on, is now in P8, trying to hunt down Martin and JDM. So let's see if he can do a comeback drive for Laser, as we're almost halfway there in the race. So waiting for the pit stops to start happening on the hard compound tyres, and we'll see a good race between MDJ and Harry Kane towards the end. And let's see if the battle for P3 will continue between Burmeister and Glock, but still bit gaps in the field as you expect around here in Singapore. The closest battle is here in P6 and P7. In fact, Harry Kane and JDM had a slight snap of oversteer at turn 3.
Damage left.
Surprising stage, you know, but JDM had I think locked the rear brakes up going into turn number 12, and as you can see, he struggled at the corner too, so we'll be under pressure for Martin, but gets a decent exit. You can see him back of the car, stepping out ever so slightly, so I don't know quite sure if the tyres are finished for him, or he's just struggling with tyre. Oh, there's a Red Bull that's come for a spin.
Yeah,
that's Zenon.
Zenon, yeah.
I got nervous
just outside
the
pits as well.
I got nervous because I saw it in the final corner where I saw Harry Kane and MDJ fighting for P1 and P2.
Wow. Luckily, I think ghosting should be on, so hopefully it shouldn't cause too much of an effect.
What will Martin do is right behind JDM. He's going into turn 1 side by side, but will he wait for turn 7? You can see JDM
contact.
Being a roadblock into turn 1 as there's not enough space to go side by side. You can see the flashing light in the back of JDM.
Look who's caught back up.
That's Laser indicating that he's losing, he's derated on the straight. So here he is. Martin gets a massive slide at turn number 6 now. And now Martin with the DRS using the battery 2. Will he go down the inside of JDM into turn number 7? Let's see if he's out of the brakes.
Down the inside.
And up into P6 he goes. But JDM with the switchback, can he do it or not? Let's see. Brakes later. Tries to go around the outside. But does he have the grip? Does he have the traction? Still there on the inside into turn number 8 now as they switch lines. And Laser looking interested too. And here we are there with Martin and JDM side by side. They need to end it into this next sequence of corners because it's really tight through here, which they do. And Laser is right behind the pair of them too. I thought it'd be a Fernando Alonso and Esteban Ocon situation here when they went side by side. But this is incredible. They kept it clean. JDM tried to stick his nose in there despite struggling. But as a result, gave way to Martin. And now Laser's on the back of him too.
Yes, this is all capsulating stuff, this. We're about halfway through the race, funnily enough.
And pit stops yet to happen for all the hard runners. The people that have only pitted in this race are the medium runners, which was both Alfa Romeos in this race. So we have a look at the clock. Biomaster's in the pit lane.
Oh, now it's going to go on the mediums, surely.
Yeah, no soft compound tyres will be used in this race.
No, absolutely not.
There he is, then comes out of the race. So let's see where he rejoins the freshest medium compound tyres. Easy tried to go for an undercut on Rogue Smithy, pitting that one lap earlier to try and get the best out of those tyres on the one lap until Rogue Smithy goes in the pit lane. So let's see if he does it or not, but needs a decent outlap now and has to clear the Alfa Romeo, which is quite far enough anyway, so he can use that space to try and draw himself towards Rogue Smithy. So the undercuts will start happening, the pit starts will be triggered by Burmeister, and everybody will be responding too. And let's see what happens in the second half of the race. Will any position changes be made? We'll see. Laser at the back of JDM as well, so these three haven't left each other alone so far, as they're both derated on the straight too, indicating they've got a low battery. Where Laser got 30% in his disposal, but not enough either, so he's also quite low on ERS. As you can see, Mackett right behind as he started in quite a high position. Did Mackett? He did as well, started P2, but unfortunately I think he either tapped Laser or he spun coming out at turn number 12, because I know some people are struggling at turn 12.
Oh, back, MDJ's in.
There it is then. MDJ is going to pit on this lap, and now Hurricane is going to go for that one lap extra. So let's see who has the advantage here. Rogue Smithy in the pit lane too. The Glock stays out, and the Aston Martin is in the pit lane too. So quite a few pit stops. It's starting to happen. Rogue Smithy's pitted to respond towards Burmeister, and let's see if Burmeister has got his man in the AlphaTauri. Here we are towards the final two corners. Burmeister has caught the Alfa Romeo of Mansell. But let's see how close it's going to be. A Red Bull spun again.
Oh no!
Pit lane. Burmeister's quite close.
Oh no!
Into turn 1, turn 2. Has he got him? Yes, he has.
Ooh.
The gap was 2 seconds between them. And that pitted one lap earlier has gained him a lot of time and moved himself up to P8. So a provisional P3 for Burmeister.
Sure. Now, question is, how long can MDJ get the undercut or overcut? Sorry.
Oh, Rogue Smithy got off track. They can be very careful because you might be desperate to get past Burmeister, but still needs to keep it composed.
They've got
all about race
an Alfa Romeo of Mansell on 5 lap old hards. so so it might not last long with those medium runners right behind him.
Technically, he's in a provisional P3 as Mads after pitted much earlier than everybody on the medium compound tyres, of course, but will get swamped up by Burmeister and JDM or Rogue Smithy on the fresher medium. So,
here we go. Harry Kane's in.
Harry Kane's in the pit lane. Burmeister
Glock
is not
follows.
able to make the move. That was so close to contact
Glock
there.
follows.
I want to see where MDJ rejoins in all of this. Harry Kane too. Is the other cut going to be massive for MDJ? And you can see Mansell once again holding up Burmeister and Rogue Smithy. But how close is it going to be between MDJ and Harry Kane?
Burmeister the fastest lap.
Oh,
contact! Oh, that's a big shame. I was looking to be a really good battle then, but wow.
That's the thing, you've got to be really patient. I know it's so tempting and so desperate you have to get past him, but you just gotta... It's a car you're not fighting, essentially. You're not fought with him throughout the whole race. He's got older tyres than you. You can't afford to be...
and different compound too.
You can't afford to be messing around with him.
No.
And as you can see, Glock has overtaken Mansell too, so that's an easy move for him. As MDJ's right to the back. Oh, he almost made contact with Laser there. Laser could do his teammate a favour. Back MDJ up into Harry Kane
That's
if he wants
true.
to.
Now, where will MDJ come out of it?
I think MDJ has to get a decent exit, which he does do with DRS and the exit too, which he had on those medium compound tyres. Got past immediately and now up into P1. So nothing Laser could do on all the tyres, of course. That's his championship rival. Going straight past him into different races now in different circumstances after Laser got taken out at turn 7. But he can't afford to hold Harry Kane either, so he has to, unless he wants to hold him up, because that's his championship rival too. But they're in different circumstances, so it might be best for Laser to pull one side and let him go, which he does do anyway as he enters the pit lane.
Lap 20.
So Harry Kane gets the extra speed down the straight with the DRS. Rogue Smithy sets the fastest lap of the race. He's back on the podium, and he had to worry about Burmeister because he was ahead of him, but now he's behind him once again. So that's really cost Burmeister. He should have been a bit more patient, but obviously he had to focus about Rogue Smithy too.
Sam over 3 seconds. 3-second time penalty. 3 drivers getting penalties as well.
MDJ was able to claw his way back in on Harry Kane towards the first in, but can now Harry Kane do the same thing? Does he have the outright pace without any assistance with DRS? Can he close that gap back down? He has a lot of EOS at his disposal. Now is the time to use it to try and get himself in DRS range of MDJ, as MDJ is quite low too.
So Mackett has had a bit of a quiet recovery drive is on the back of Martin. Of Mackett. Martin, sorry. Jeez, I'm all over the place tonight.
And they've both got the hard runner on Mansell, who opted to go on the mediums early doors in this race too, so they've got to dispose of him really quickly to continue their battle. But Harry Kane gained about 5 tenths on this lap alone, and now he's in DRS range of MDJ then, so as he sets the fastest lap of the race on course towards MDJ, the battle is going to be between the top 2 in this race to see who wins the Singapore Grand Prix. Harry Kane looking to win after he DNF'd at Monza, choosing the wrong strategy.
Not 3 seconds. Now that could be crucial to the outcome of this race.
Oh, that's a shame there for Glock. He had a bad race at Monza, but he's got another 3-second time penalty. That's what cost him for the victory at the Dutch Grand Prix, between overwatching himself. Got himself a 3-second time penalty and lost himself the victory, so luckily Mansell's 6 seconds behind, but with the safety car, you never know, with everybody bunched up, it could pay big consequence towards the end of the race.
Oh yeah. Now, I think MDJ may have an advantage in slower corners.
Why do you think that is? Have you spotted something?
Yeah, it's just I've been on board with Harry quite a few times, and the thing is, I just think he tends in fast corners when he's faster corners he's perfectly fine, but in slow corners I think there's a little bit of understeer in that car, but but yeah, it's going to be a close one.
They've both driven a good race so far. With 10 laps left to go, who will win this Grand Prix? Will it be Harry Kane? Will it be Mikey de Jong? The battle between the Dutchman and the Norwegian is on towards the end.
Harry
Kane here
was thinking about it.
Harry Kane can drive this race because he's second. He can overtake MDJ whenever he wants to. He could leave to the last lap if he wants. Stay in second throughout the whole time and overtake him later on. That's the way it goes around here in league racing business. Just stay in second until the last few laps of the race. But it can be quite predictable, that strategy too, because MDJ could anticipate that and just save his battery towards the end and use it in defense mode, knowing that Harry Kane will come at him towards the end. MDJ has been fighting with McLaren throughout the whole season in terms of championships and in races too. Mackey's got overtaken Martin up into P6 he goes. And JDM's overtaken Mansell.
Oh yeah. Now,
I felt sorry for Mansell because he got swamped on the straight by Mackey and Martin. They both went past him on the straight and overtook him into turn 7, so he lost 2 places there in one go. Now he's lost one towards JDM. That's the consequence. That's the price you pay when you start the medium compound tyres. But I don't blame him to start the mediums because, you know, there might be a safety car around here, but there's no safety cars so far. Not even
it's been a relatively quiet race. Well, in terms of incidents, race-ending incidents.
But once again, Harry Kane is all over the back of MDJ. But he won't send it until the last few laps of this race. There's no point fighting it out now. And he knows that there's a chance later on. As Samu and Nadim are fighting once again. Here we are in the Aston Martin versus the Alfa Romeo. But this time the Aston Martin stays ahead of the Alfa Romeo this time and moves himself up to P11. Samu has got a 3-second time penalty. And Harry Kane rides the back. He goes for the overtake. Into turn 7 we go.
Brilliant.
And now he's first in this DRS train. Let's see what happens. Will MDJ respond or will he stay behind him in the latter stage of this Grand Prix? Laser up into P9 ahead of Mansell. And Laser's got the
Martin,
youngest
3 seconds.
As he pursues his way towards Mackie 2. That's a shame for him.
Now,
I think Rogue Smithy's 3 at Burmeister. The gap's been going up ever since...
I was just about to say, I think with the rate as this race is going, I think the top 3 now could be the top 3 at the end of this race.
I think Glock has started to claw his way on Burmeister too, so bearing in mind he's got a 3-second time penalty, has Glock. Started P16, up into P3, he let 2 drivers go as he made contact with one of them into turn 1. And due to his good sportsmanship and respect he has for other drivers, he thought it was his fault. I don't think it was. It was just a race incident to turn 1 because that's such a tight corner. But due to the nature of his racing, he lets people go, even though it might not be his fault, and still fights for P4 with Burmeister, and he's getting all over the back of him. I'm not quite sure if Burmeister might have sustained a little bit of wing damage due to the contact he made with one of the Alfa Romeos after being impatient, but now he has Glock all over the back of him, and let's see if it'll be an easy move into turn 7. Try and set himself up out of 6 and make a move into 7.
Here we go. Okay. Glock on the back of Burmeister. He's going to use a DRS. He's got DRS. Now the question is he going to make the run, gets the move done? Clean as a whistle. Burmeister slots in behind. Wow.
But the question is, can he pull away from him? And let's see if he can or not. And now, Glock, he's got the outright pace to catch Rogue Smithy. But we'll see. I would love to see Glock qualify in this race, if he didn't have that qualifying ban. I'm not quite sure why he picked it up. Did he retire on the track? I don't remember him. I remember him being in incidents, but the ones I saw wasn't really his fault because he got taken out at turn number 1 and he got put on the gravel. But I'll see why the case is he got a qualifying ban.
Gee, that tyre skid at the end of the second DRS straight.
Sam said he'd lost traction coming out.
Oh! It's starting to rain.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. I spotted it when I was on board of MDJ.
Right, this could play a massive factor now. Rain has appeared here in Singapore. Will the intermediates be needed? Because it does take a while for the track to soak in.
Yeah, it does.
With only about 5-6 laps left to go, inters could be shown, but it all depends how wet the track could get. Will it be torrential rain, or will it be light? Let's see. Stewart note on Glock after the incident with Mackett. Glock went into AI, pitted, then coasted around a lap and put his car in the barrier on purpose, crashed himself out. I think I remember that actually. Yeah, so that's why Glock received a qualifying ban after he got really angry with the contact he did with Mackett as they both crashed at Ascari. They both spun, and that's a shame because Glock was trying to claw his way back onto the field. He's actually dropped Burmeister now, and they've got a big gap over Mackett anyway, so worst case scenario for Glock at the moment is P5 with the big gap he has on Mackett. But can he keep extending that gap toward Burmeister because it's 2.1 now?
Now, question is, well, now, got Blaze on the back of JDM. So the question is, would he get the move done to go into P8?
Let's have a look on board with the McLaren driver. Too far behind, it's 13, but Harry Kane's actually dropped MDJ without his DRS, so he's actually got some monumental pace because I thought MDJ's pace was quite decent, especially with his catch to Harry Kane, with about a 2.4 second gap. And we head into the slow speed corner as we go. JDM's ahead for the time being, so Laser not able to get close, but all the rain keep on intensifying for the inters to be used. That's the main question. And MDJ, with the lack of ERS, won't be able to use that to try and get himself back in DRS of Harry. So, could Harry...
Oh, Laser gets 3 seconds! Both he and JDM have got 3 seconds as well. So to an extent, that helps out with Martin as Mansell's speed gets 5 seconds of speeding in the pit lane, so that's essentially race ending.
He's going on the intermediate tyres as Mansell, so...
that's a risk.
Currently the hamster in an experiment is Mansell, and we'll see, a guinea pig, sorry, that would have been a better phrase, is guinea pig to everybody else on the inters, so let's see if his pace is better on the inters, or is it still the dries in favour, because I've not seen the DRS disabled sign just yet, but we'll see if it's raining enough. But Red Bull, once again, Zeno, do you know what, Zeno, despite making these mistakes, is still in this race, by the way, so I'm going to have huge respect, sorry.
I agree. He could have easily retired in the pits or crashed himself out, but he hasn't. So, big respect to him for that.
Harry Kane is in the pit lane along with MDJ.
Oh, this is big.
I think it could be time for inters.
Yeah.
You've got to be very careful.
Has that gamble come too early?
I think everybody's going in now. Might as well. Burmeister's had a problem somewhere. He's actually outbroke himself. Has he lost his wing? Yeah, he has. He's outbroke himself.
No! He has, you're right. He must have hit the wall somewhere.
Turn 13, I think it was.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. Jeez. That car is going to be an absolute nuisance to get around. You need to be careful. Careful of how he approaches the pit lane, because whoever does it could be game over. No, he's all good.
Wow, this is a very interesting phase in the race indeed. No safety cars, however, have been deployed. I was scared that a few yellow flags would cause them, as the inters now been attached to everybody's car. And yeah, Zenon, with his
the Dean's the only one staying out. Well, the only one staying out was that Scar Adams.
Zenom's just hit the wall out of turn number 8. He's on a brand new set of mediums.
Yeah,
so,
wrong call.
It is a wrong call indeed, because he's standing all over the place. He hit the wall too for good measure, so got to tiptoe his way around the track to get back in the pit lane on an inter.
ERS is disabled.
The fireworks will be going in 4 laps time as Samu picks up a 5-second time again. Oh, side by side with Mansell and Burmeister.
Yeah, good spot. Burmeister, one of the few guys without penalties.
Harry Kane is making a statement here in this race. What a tremendous drive from him. Starts the pole and hasn't been challenged ever since. So What an incredible drive from Harry. 3-second gap on MDJ, so it looks like the favour was actually coming towards MDJ's way. But Harry Kane has just picked up some pace. Maybe he used a bit more of the battery to get himself ahead of MDJ because he was preserving it majority of the race. Ever since he used his battery, he's pulled away from MDJ.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, fair, MDJ did really well to close down that gap. But I think as soon as Harry Kane came out of the pits, he used that strategy to his advantage, kept within range, bode his time, and as soon as he got the lead, he just hasn't looked back.
Even if MDJ has overtaken him, Harry Kane got him back, and ever since then, pulled away from him at the right time too. Because I was about to say, if these two are fighting the wet, it's very hard to overtake in the wet indeed. You don't have the DRS, and it's just difficult in general in the wet conditions. So I wanted to see how it played out between the two if they did have a scrap and they were close together.
MDJ, 3 seconds. Now that definitely seals it.
The pressure of Harry Kane's shoulders has been relieved. As you can see, majority of drivers now have got a 3-second or 5-second penalty, so we're actually picking up more and more penalties.
Oh, the only three that haven't what's happened to one of the Red Bulls? Yeah, of course. But yeah, the only three that have not got penalties are Harry Kane, Mackett, or only 4 to be exact.
Burmeister
and Noldus. So both Williams, so far, for now, penalty free.
And if, let's say, a late safety car does come out, they could benefit. They could jump.
Yeah.
They could
it won't happen though. It's a bit late now.
Yeah, I think we're across the point where the safety car won't come out anymore.
No.
But I'm really surprised now because we had safety cars back in Belgium and Monza. Maybe we had. I don't know if we had one of the Zandvoort Grand Prix or not. But Singapore, I was expecting a few, but not this time.
No, it's
a punishing circuit where the walls come at you thick and fast.
It's a very punishing circuit, but can be rewarding if you get it right on strategy and keep it on track.
Glock is starting to catch Road Smithy. In fact, they're equal on penalties too. So if Glock can somehow, when he catches up to Rogue Smithy and try to overtake him on track, that's going to be quite an ask. But Rogue Smithy then finds himself under pressure after picking up that 3-second time penalty somewhere in this race because we're not able to keep up with every single penalty that everybody's picking up at one time. So actually, Glock's 1 second behind right now. So the podium could be on between Rogue Smithy, and it'll be a shame for Rogue Smithy to lose it now because he's been in third place majority of this race. He's
kept
seen
it
all
clean
the
as
chaos
well.
unfolding. He's seen Laser, Mackett, and who was it? Samad, who all made a mistake.
Yeah, Samad, yeah. He got by JDM quite easily as well when they were battling.
He's dropped him as well. The gap between Rogue Smithy and JDM is quite big, so I think that was very important to pull away.
He has.
Rather than keep JDM and DRS.
Oh, I thought Glock was going to hit the wall then.
I thought he was too. He was so close. He outbroke himself there, but just kept it out, as you can see.
He has.
Rogue Smithy finds himself a Red Bull right behind him, and the battle for P3 is on because it's even Stevens on penalties now.
Oh yeah, 2 laps to go.
But I actually think Rogue Smithy will have it, because look at his EOS advantage against Glock's. Glock's got low EOS. So that's one advantage Rogue Smithy has. I'm not quite sure if Glock's quicker in the corners or not. But with 2 laps left to go, Rogue Smithy has to get decent exits and try and use that battery down the straight. You can see 5 tenths right behind him now, so he's putting a lot of time out of Rogue Smithy. And it's very important at places like this to use the EOS and try and stay ahead of the Red Bull. He's got 2 laps left. Can Rogue Smithy get another podium here in SFR to add to AlphaTauri's collection? Because he's started to get decent results recently as Rogue Smithy.
Oh, he has. Now, we'll ask us what in the final lap, but who would you say is your driver of the day?
I really don't know, to be honest with you, because it's a great drive from Harry Kane, great drive from Glock, Smithy as well, after staying out of contact and not making any mistakes, because Glock, Rogue Smithy was behind Samid, the likes of Laser and Mackett too, but he kept out of trouble, kept his nose clean. Now he's in P3, but he's got Glock right behind him. but he's got the battery to defend from him, so he has to use that in critical corners like these, especially down into turn 13 too. So it could be Glock, it could be Harry Kane. I don't know who else is on my candidate for driver of the day. But look at this then, as we head down, there's a yellow flag once again, that's a Red Bull.
Obviously, Xenon.
You can see Glock is quicker in the corners, you know, he's actually struggling.
Oh yeah, he is, look, he's got the run! Here he goes! Down the inside! Who's going to come out on top of this one? Oh, contact is made! Contact is made and Smithy stays ahead! Goodness me, it's like the battle for the win! The way this is going, obviously Xenon going off again, but that is surely going to rattle Glock's cage, sorry.
Oh, look at this, you can see him standing at the corners out of the way, continues to intensify. Hard in Marco, there's yellow flags. Those yellow flags got to go, you know, because you can't overtake. But now you can, because it's green. But look at Glock sliding all over the place. He had a bad exit,
he's overdriving it. Just needs to stay calm, regain that time.
He seems to be quicker the final set to this Glock, so he's Rogue Smithy hot in Mark moment, knowing the podium could have gone when there's only about one more lap left to go in this race. So, got to keep it nice and tight now, don't make any rash moves, and try and get these exits if you can. Don't get the throttle way too early, but Glock's actually dropping back now.
Oh, he is. I don't think he's going to have enough in terms of battery. You're right on board though. Oh yes, that helicopter view.
It's the third set to his kryptonite Rogue Smithy. He needs to get a decent final exit out of those two corners. He goes deep into turn 12, but Glock's too far back anyway to capitalise on that mistake. Laser has overtaken the other AlphaTauri. Now Burmeister's right behind too. That's not Burmeister, sorry. That's Martin. There's a three-way fight, so I thought a Haas was there. But anyways, Harry Kane is coming towards the final two corners.
Yeah, here we go. Well deserved.
The Singapore Grand Prix. What a great drive.
Great drive. Second for MDJ. We wait for the battle. I think it's a full-blown conclusion now. Smithy comes around the final corner to claim P3. Ooh, a little bit slidey, but yeah. Great drive from Glock nonetheless. Mackett comes home in 5th. The second driver to come home penalty-free.
The battle for P6 is on between Martin, Laser, and JD. Martin goes a bit deep into 17. Laser trying to do the switchback, tries to get a better exit.
Is he going to get the run side by side?
It's the final two corners.
Great pass from Laser. Over to P6 he goes. Martin 7th, JDM 8th. Burmeister comes home in 9th. So, yeah, while we do that, could you get... Well, mind you, we're in the GP1 chat, so the top 3 could come in anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was about to ask you for to see if you could get the top 3 in, but yeah. Great race. Like, even with the odd incident, it was actually quite clean, and for once, there was no safety car.
Quite surprising too.
Yeah, considering the reputation that Singapore has.
DJ says, GG Hurricane, but ever since I saw the rain come, I backed off because I'm bad in the rain. So, yeah, if MDJ was in first when that rain came, could have been a different story with Hurricane trying to attack him in the rain. But I think MDJ, when he's in second place, realises that he can't do anything, so he stays behind him. But fair enough to MDJ, not risking it, needs those points. He can't afford to be squabbling too much, especially in the rain. I know it's for the battle for P1, but if you're bad in the rain, you can't afford to risk it.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Here we have podium scenes now.
MDJ and it was Rogue Smithy.
Yeah. What a race.
By the way, I'm going to do only one interview. So is it if I start first because I've got to get going off?
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, Harry Kane, I'll do. Then the rest are yours.
Yeah, it's fine. MDJ's in.
MDJ, and we'll wait for Rogue Smithy and Harry Kane. There he is. So I can only do one podium interview tonight. I'm not streaming, by the way.
Here's the result.
MDJ
Harry Kane comes home first, MDJ second, Smithy comes home in 4th for Glock and Mackett rounding out the top 5. 6th we got Laser, 7th is Martin, JDM in 8th, Burmeister in 9th, Mansell rounding out the top 10, And then you got the rest of the order. You got Nadim, Samu, Adams, Noldus, Xenon, and Samad, all completing the rest of the field.
There's your results. We're waiting for Rogue Smithy, but I'll start with Hurricane anyway. HK, mate. So I was interviewing last week, different circumstances, of course, after you retired in Monza, but we're here in P1, mate. So fantastic race. You did an incredible job driving the strategy, driving the pace well, having the pace to beat MDJ in the wet too, not picking up any penalties. You were one of the few not to pick up any penalties. So what's changed here in Singapore? Is it one of your better tracks, you say?
I don't think so. I thought I was a lot off pace before the race, but the car was on rails with the setup I had, so just a lot of confidence.
Yeah, and what about, were you surprised MDJ caught you in the first stint because he was about 2 point far behind, or were you just preserving the ERS? Because I don't think you used any ERS when MDJ was catching, did you?
No, I don't use much ERS, but I made quite few mistakes in Sector 2, so he catched pretty easily, I think.
Did you know the rain was coming towards the stage of the race?
Yeah, I knew. I was waiting for it. I thought of the softs after hard, but I went with what MDJ did.
Yeah, last time we went for softs, it didn't go well, did it, in Monza? No, I'm joking, Harry. I'm joking. but congratulations, you P1, mate. You did a fantastic job the whole way through. And do you know when the rain was starting to come? Is that when you thought about overtaking MDJ because you could struggle fast him during the wet?
I knew I had to get past him before DRS disabled, or else I wouldn't have got past. So yeah.
Yeah, good strategic course too, and you pulled away ever since the rain came too. So amazing drive from you, Hurricane. After Monza, you rectified that really well. And the next track is Japan. So how do you feel for that, mate?
I'm not that quick around Japan, so it will be exciting.
We'll see then, mate. But congratulations once again, Harry. You're P2 in the championship, so this will help you extend that gap to P4. I know this is a bit of a stretch, Harry, but are you thinking about any more in the championship like P2? Do you think that's on for you, or is it a bit too far away? Or do you think about one race at a time?
You should always think forward in the championship, but it's a long way, so try race to race now and see how it goes.
Thank you for that, mate, and nice to see you in different circumstances after Monza this time on the podium interview, or in the interviews.
Yeah, it's a lot better when you win.
Yeah, great comeback, mate. Really enjoyed that run, and congrats to you once again. Have a good night, and I'll see you all later. Thank you for
coming on.
You're welcome. The rest are for yours.
All right, I'll take it from here.
I'm still here.
So, MDJ.
Oh,
Great drive. You did put up a fight, but P2 is not a bad result to shout about.
No, it's not too bad at all since the qualifying position that I was in. I didn't even think I would get even close to this position, but when I got there and I started to gain to Hurricane, I knew there was more, but I made a mistake pitting a lap earlier. I knew that the one lap newer mediums are going to be so much quicker than the one lap older, so it was a mistake, stupidly. And then when the rain sets in, I just backed off. I just wanted to finish the race from that moment. I've history with wet races where I crash or go straight into a wall because my brakes do not want to do what I want to do.
Nah.
I just wanted to finish and not put up too much of a fight, and it also carried me a penalty with it, so it is what it is, and I mean still P2 is good for where I started.
Oh, for sure. So with that P2, that still, I think it helps you somewhat close up the gap to Laser. But how are you feeling going into Suzuka? Track you enjoy?
It's a lovely track. I love it. In my history, like I have done a lot of races on that track. Won a lot of races, been very quick. But I know for a fact that Harry and Laser are very quick on those kind of tracks as well. So maybe, like, I don't know who will win. So we'll see what's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, Sam. Yeah, best of luck for next week. Smithy, good drive. Take us through that one.
Yeah, horrible qualifying after being done over by the game. I just spun it through the Anderson Bridge and I glanced the barrier, and it took me out. And yeah, it was a good, alright start. Nearly made contact with Alfa Romeo off the start, and just started to side through the park, get through Mansell. I had a bit rear locking issues in the first part because my brake bias was too low, and I lost a few positions because of that. I sorted it, and I got lucky with a few crashes and spins from I think Samad. He crashed or spun through just past the Anderson Bridge and Laser and Mackey. Yeah, I don't think I would have got this podium, to be honest, if JDM didn't defend for me, because he's an absolute legend for that. We may have our differences, but he's an absolute legend. He's just helped me get that podium. Yeah, I think defending in the last stint from Glock was a bit scary because you didn't know what was going to happen. It might have been a bit manic for him trying to get a podium, but he kept it clean. We kept it clean. So very happy with it. 2 podiums in a row now.
So yeah, that podium I think puts you in the top 10 of the standings. So, your thoughts on Suzuka?
It's like with me in Singapore and me in Suzuka, it's a bit of a love-hate relationship because I'm good around them, but I'm not good at the same time. Like, I just hate the tracks, and yeah, the game does not do them very well at all. I think I've got another league race on ACC at Suzuka the day before, so that should be fun. Going into the two separate cars in 2 days in Suzuka. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Right on P3. Good luck for next week.
Yeah, thank you.
And that'll be it. Ladies and gents, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed that, do leave a like, and if you're new here, subscribe so you can check out all the action across SFR in all both divisions, sorry. Jesus, thought I was stuck in 2021. But yeah. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And if you're new here and you want to join the league, head over to Grid Finder. The link to the Discord server will be there. Once you're in, one of our admins will be in touch with your directors, mate. Either way, we'll be in touch with you as soon as possible to help you find the right division for you based on your pace and availability. But until Suzuka next week, this is Channel Answer 29, IoT Indigo, and fastest of the fastest, the pinnacle of SFR's Division 1, signing off.